Hi people, and this is just a video about some safety tips and legal points about these rallies and protests that you're attending. Now, over the last couple of weeks we've seen a different style of policing. We've seen Ayr last week, which was horrendous, and Edinburgh yesterday, which was totally different. Now, what I have to say to you people is that, we use Police Scotland Angels was there yesterday. There was 7 legal observers there, and we're going to continue to go to protests, and support people because it seems to be very effective. That's us, we have the law in these folders. We've got the vises on that are always, they've got our logo on them, and we carry a name badge. And now, recently, we've started wearing video cameras, body cameras, because the police aren't wearing them. And, that brutality at Ayr last week was horrendous, So, that's what we're going to start doing. Now, what I'm actually going to say to you is that I want you to seriously consider, people are very reserved, and I'm going to be tasteful and respectful and legally minded with my words here, is about people who are planning these rallies. Everybody's planning them, not individual single organisers. What the police want to pinpoint charges on people, and I'll talk a wee bit later in the video about that. But you have to think about imparting and trusting to people where this may be going the route or whatever. And I know people are very reserved about this, but the points I'm trying to make about this is that we had people yesterday in Edinburgh who were visitors for Glasgow. They didn't know how to get back to Parliament, and they waited on us, and that was it. We gave them that advice to wait on us at the end, because that's when the police are targeting you people at the end, and they know the vulnerabilities. Now, what I want to say is that the reason why they know these vulnerabilities is because they're using the Pronto pad, the Pronto pad is something that, and if I can move this down, this blooming thing, the Pronto pad is here, and so this is the great new technology they've been using for 2 years. And I can tell you people about this, and we've got, matters going on with the Information Commissioner about this. These pads there, and I'm showing you them, they usually wear them up there, they are taking your face recognition at these protests. Now look down here about Lancashire Constabulary is the first police force in the UK to use a combined Pronto body-worn camera solution. That's where they're getting you, the police. They're getting you with the drones, and they're getting you with these Pronto pads. Now, these Pronto pads, we've got something in with the Information Commissioner, because they've got a malfunction in them. They can be redacted. They're taking your statement, and you're not getting a copy of that statement. When you get a report of crime, or when you're given, when you're being arrested or anything, the police have got it all in the bag with these things. Now, I'm going to put the link up to these Pronto pad things, and look, streamline core policing there, So go and read about this, It's very, very important, That's where you're getting caught out with these people, when you're actually engaging with them, or they're giving you your stopping account. So stop speaking to the police. The Pronto pad's taking everything. In seconds, there you go. And if you didn't believe me, it's going being fed right back to a hub. This is them there. It's been fed right back to a hub, and that's how senior police know who to target and who to charge. It's going right back to a hub. And that's all the technology about it, and all the data that it can store. And it can get into DVLA records in seconds. So go and look at what technology has been, swiped around you, when you're engaging with these people. Very, very important. Now, getting back to actually these protests. I would advise, and this is my advice, is to not go into these shopping centres. The reason I say this, you think about this. You can be shut down in seconds and kettled in a shopping centre. Even though it's a public throughway, it's still contracted under private organisation, e.g. security guards. Security guards get involved in any sort of ejecting from buildings and things come really, really messy. And they've got the legal stance to eject you. And the police take their side. So it's very, very risky going through shopping centres. Very risky. You can get shut in, you can get stopped at other ends, and then these stupid security guards get involved. And then the police always side with them and think about it when it goes to court. Oh, well, the security was only doing their job, my lord, they had jurisdiction in the locus. That's the wording they use. And they have. When you're on public highway and public thoroughfare, which mean the streets and precincts and all these areas, you're in the public, and I would say you're being much more effective that way. You've got cars hooting, which were very proactive yesterday, and you've got people in cars, you've got people in buses, you've got people in pedestrians on the street and things, much more productive. Shopping centres are not a good way to go, people, and I'm telling you that now, because they've got higher criminality effect on them. Security guards get involved, and they have got their right to eject you, and that's when big scuffles get involved, and the police will take their side, and you can be kettled. And getting back to, I want to say about this people, remember people, this is fellow protesters who's coming to these things, and we used strategies yesterday to support people at the end, because that's when they're going for people. The police, that's when they're targeting people at the end. They know by the face recognition when people are sensitive, when people, are a bit new to the protest. They've got all that, with the Tectra in their ear, the frequencies going through their blood-brain barrier, combining up to each other, to these hubs, to the police. They know. So we had a few people yesterday, and remember, these are strangers and visitors to the protest or the city. And that's when they're targeting them. So it would be good to actually preempt to people you can trust about what the planning is, not the organisation. Because I'm going to go back to the law here, and this is what they're charging people on. They're charging people, and we've had people under the Civic Government Scotland Act, Section 65, and it's, offences and enforcements, it's people who are, they're saying, people who are organising processions and not working with the police. We've covered it in previous videos. People aren't going to work with the police. The police have shot themselves in the foot. There's some videos going about on this social media about the police trying to engage with me yesterday, which I'll never do. Never ever do. My role there is not to engage with the police, And they says, what's a stopping account? Didn't you think the police are stupid? Didn't you think the police are stupid? A lot of them are. But didn't you think because it's a higher up senior police you've got to think about? Now, I also want to say to you as well, people, there was 2 incidents, separate incidents, one in Edinburgh yesterday and one in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago, that was brought to our attention. Is that apparently in Glasgow, the LGBT group were spraying bleach on people. Now, I think personally that was infiltration with the police. Remember, they want you to kick off with a different type of group, that you're doing a hate crime possibly. They are looking for every eventuality of criminality to get on people, to stop these rallies and whatever. And then they would say, oh, well, then that's a sensitive group and that type of group and blah, blah, blah. And look at that. We need to keep you safe. We need to know the route, blah, blah, blah. Because if you think about if somebody did pour bleach on you or spray bleach on you, it would have come up in your clothes or your hair. And I think the police set that up personally. There was another incident in Edinburgh yesterday and somebody took ill. And they tried to get the legal observers to intervene. We're not there as first aiders. That's not our role. That's the police's role or emergency services role. Now, people at the bus stop, and remember, police have got undercover, all the text on their ears saying, you move in now, blah, blah, blah. And a guy says, and he got really, really hostile and, offensive and obscene. And this guy that allegedly was ill, and he says to him, you've no got a mask on, and didn't get an ambulance for him. And that was obviously inciting the crowd to get angry and blah, blah, blah. I think that was a setup. I think it was a setup. So you need to be highly vigilant because remember, they create the problem looking for the solution. We were I was in the police station with somebody on Tuesday that's been charged, somebody else. And don't get me wrong, the Police Scotland Angels are there to support people, We're there to support people after the protests, during the protests, and people come to us via email, come to our website. We're there to support people, and people are very frightened at the ramifications afterwards. Because this is, our main aim is to not get you arrested, is to not get you arrested and inform you your rights. So this person who I was assisting, and the police were actually okay, but it was for a different jurisdiction. They wanted this guy charged, and I advised them to go to a different jurisdiction because remember, the police have got malice, and they can be very, very egotistic, and it's their law, and they target people. And this specific person's had a terrible time with their family, a terrible time with their employer, and that's what the police do, breaching Data Protection Act 2018, all these things, and that's the ramifications for people. Some people who the police hand select. Now, they charged this person under Section 12.6 of the Public Order Act 1986. It's a very malicious charge. Very malicious. It's, a senior police officer told somebody to move on and they didn't take the police's guidance, and then all of a sudden this person, was inciting others to commit an offence, and basically that type of charge, there's been 2 people prosecuted in the UK and since that act came into force, and it's been thrown out. It's been thrown out, So they're getting your data for Facebook. We've been through all this, they're getting it all for there. They're getting it off of these sites, because they're on them. Now, yes, the march went well yesterday, but we strongly advise people to think about your location, think about where you're going to be ending, because there's another 2 incidents that's been brought to our attention. In Glasgow, people were being led to George Square, and we tannoyed and says it's entirely your choice if you go there, but we think you're going to be kettled, because there was fencing round there. It'd be so easy for the police to put you in a kettle in there, and you're in a kettle and you might not get out for hours. You've got people with health conditions, you've got people with anxiety, you've got people who need to get home for pets and dogs and children and all these things, and you're in there for hours. So think about, plan ahead, minimise risk. Yesterday we finished up at Edinburgh outside the gallery at the bottom of the mound thing. That would be very easy. Yes, it was a good point to have a stand up on these step things and people be noticed on a platform. But there was a load of fencing around there, and they would quite easily kettle you there as well. So we've got to think about foreseeing these things, and bear in mind, we don't know any routes. But we're very spontaneously, and all this has been spurged on us as well, So we used our strategy yesterday to not, we're hanging around till people disperse, because that's when they're going for our people at the end of these protests. So we waited and we gave, advice about what people to do, and we made sure that people got away safely. Because people were getting anxious, because there was about 25 of them at the police at the end. All sort of, that's their stands they take, they start to make that sort of circle, that semicircle, intimidate people, And, you know, people says it did go well. Maybe it went well because the presence of legal observers there. Maybe it wasn't because of that. I don't know. But we'll continue to be there to support you when we can. And we hope that you support us, you know. And, you know, all the work that we do, you know, we've got these human rights cards, you know. We've showed you how to access them. We've got them on the field, you know. Here they're here. You can download them, you know. There you go. They're there, you know. And that's everything you have to say under Section 13 of the Criminal Procedure Scotland Act. If you're suspected of a crime on the field, when you get to the police station, that's everything in there as well. If you're being formally arrested, you know, under Section 34 of the 2016 Criminal Justice Scotland Act, that's all you need to give in a police station as well. Everything's in that card that'll protect you until you get access to a solicitor, and you just keep saying, no comment, no comment, no comment. Even when they're going through these forums, are you a Christian? What's your gender? No comment, no comment. You've got no legal obligation to say anything apart from what's in that card. Nothing. Nothing at all. So you didn't, because see, you'll have 3 charges on you if you start engaging with them. You'll have the face recognition, you know, on you, you know, and you'll have everything else, and they'll single people out, and that's you, you know. So I really hope this video's helped people, and that, you know, all I can say is that, you know, we'll continue to support and give services to legal observers. We're starting to wear, as I say, body cams now. Police in Scotland have the choice to wear these things, but they choose not to. You have to ask yourself the question, why? Why they will not wear body cams, you know? So, and, you know, and that's what gives people, look, I've seen some of these comments on the social media, and it's, oh, the police were fine in Edinburgh. It gives you a false sense of security, because next week's Dundee, we've had emails coming in about Dundee and the services that people require up there. But I can tell you, it could be a very different tactic of policing. So don't be misled by yesterday was fine and all that. I want you to always be aware and on guard of the police. You've seen what they've done to our people. You know, there you are there. We've served that, you know, open public letter. You know, we're wanting into the COVID inquiry for the 22 months of policing, what they've done to us on the field, you know, and we've sent it to senior police, you know, and we've put the whole, what the infringements, the breaches and the unlawfulness, what they've done to people. Remember, we've still got people with pending, outstanding charges for a year ago, for 18 months ago, hanging over them. Bail conditions imposed, you know, they can't go into this area, they can't do that, they can't do this. You know, that's what you're up against, people. And I'm not here as my scaremonger. But this is what comes into us. This is my experience. As I says to you, I studied law. I didn't really do a lot of criminal law, but over the last 18 months I have. I've got a qualification in criminal law. It wasn't the type of law that I wanted to go into. But, you know, we have to be vigilant when we're going out there and think about our fellows and think about all tactics. And sometimes when you're caught up in the protest, you're not seeing that, you know, but we're seeing it from a different angle, you know. And as I say, we'll continue to keep supporting you at these protests and things. But what we do say is you continue to keep supporting us, you know. We've got a GoFundMe page, you know, and you can donate on that page, you know, here. You know, we get these cards and you know, everything, overheads, letters, petrol, all these overheads that we've got, you know, that and you know, we do support many people, and we'll continue to do so, and we didn't want any government injection, government funding, anything like that, you know, because then we're binded by their regulations, and that's not what we're wanting at all. You know, so I'll leave it there, people, and I hope you've got something out of this video, okay?